Look, we all know you need a skill to make money. That's not the hard part. But here's the thing. The place where almost everyone fails isn't in the learning, it's in the choosing. That's the first major hurdle where most people just get completely stuck.
So maybe you're just out of school, right? And you're feeling that pressure, that nagging voice telling you that you need to learn something valuable. But you're just paralyzed by all the choices. And trust me, I get it. You are definitely not alone in this.
I will never forget this one moment in class. My teacher looked out at all of us and just said, "This degree won't save you." And you know what? The whole room started laughing. But I didn't, because I could tell. He was dead serious. That was the moment it hit me. I had to figure this out on my own.
All right, so let's get into the thick of it. Learning a new skill can be one of the most exciting things you ever do, or it can be painfully boring. And what makes the difference? It's not the skill itself. It's all about your mindset when you start. And honestly, most people start completely wrong, caught in a trap. It's a crazy paradox, right? When you feel lost, your gut tells you to go online and search for answers. But the more you desperately search for that perfect skill, the more confused and overwhelmed you actually become.
And this, right here, is where the whole cycle of failure really kicks in. You turn to the internet, you're looking for a sign, a guide, anything, but instead of finding clarity, you just end up drowning in information.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You go down this YouTube rabbit hole watching videos with titles like Top 10 High-Income Skills or Learn AI in 30 Days. So you pick one, right? Not because you love it, but because some guru promised you'd get rich quick. But your motivation disappears fast because you never cared about the skill itself. You only wanted the money. And then what happens? You quit. Every single time.
So the big question is, how do you actually break this soul-crushing cycle? Well, it's simple, but not easy. You have to stop looking out there for answers and start looking in here. For me, this big shift came from a place I really didn't expect. It all clicked for me when I read this story about a young Elon Musk. At just 12 years old, he taught himself how to code, made a video game, and sold it for $500. Now, I was 16 when I read this, 4 years older than he was, and something just sparked inside me.
See, this story wasn't really about him. It was like looking in a mirror. And it forced me to stop asking what the world wanted from me and instead ask myself two simple, powerful questions that honestly changed my entire life.
This is absolutely crucial. You have to stop asking the wrong question, which is, what skill makes the most money? And you need to start asking the right questions. First, what makes me genuinely curious? And second, what's an interest I used to have that I maybe abandoned because of school? That's it. That's the shift. From chasing money to following your own internal compass.
And those two simple questions, they led me to a 3-step blueprint. Super simple, totally actionable. And this isn't about finding the perfect skill overnight. No, it's about building a system so the right skill finds you.
Okay, so here it is. Just 3 steps. Step 1, you're going to build your curiosity list. Step 2, you're going to train your mind for action. And step 3, which is the most important, is you're going to do the boring work. Let's break down each one.
All right, step 1. And this is a big one. You have to ignore all the online noise. Forget the top 10 lists, forget what everyone else is doing. I want you to actually do this. Grab a pen and paper or open a doc and answer those 2 questions we just talked about. What are you genuinely curious about, and what did you used to love doing?
So here's what my list looked like, just to give you an idea. I just connected the dots. My curiosity about tech, that led straight to coding. My interest in cool visuals pointed me to graphic design. And that old hobby I had of making videos during lockdown, well, that brought me back to video editing. Suddenly, I had 3 real paths, and they came from me, not from some YouTube video.
Okay, let's be real. An idea on paper is worth absolutely nothing without action. This is the exact point where most people give up. So here's the commitment. 30 to 60 minutes for each skill on your list, every single day. No excuses. This is how you take a vague idea and make it real.
But let's face it, taking action today means you have to fight your biggest enemy, which is distraction. Your phone, social media, Netflix, they're all designed to pull you away from doing deep, focused work. And this brings us right to step 3. And this is probably the most important part of all, doing the boring work. It means you have to show up even when you don't feel like it, because it's not always going to be fun. Your brain is going to scream at you to just scroll Instagram or watch that new show.
Real discipline is when you choose to open that coding tutorial anyway. That is the one thing that separates everyone who succeeds from those who just dream about it.
And that's the challenge. I'm not asking for a year. Just give this system 1 month. For 30 days, you're going to focus on building, not just consuming. It's short enough that you can actually do it, but it's long enough to build real momentum and to show you the truth. Because if you actually stick with this, after those 30 days of focused, disciplined work, something amazing starts to happen. All of that confusion and doubt just starts to melt away, and it gets replaced by the one thing you've been looking for this whole time.
What happens? You get clarity. Look, the point of this was never to become a master of 3 different things. That's impossible. The goal was to give your mind enough real-world experience to figure out which skill you won't quit when it gets hard. By actually doing the work, your brain will naturally start to lean into the one that pulls you in. The confusion vanishes, and your path forward becomes crystal clear.
So please, stop searching. Stop watching another video hoping for a magic answer. The answer isn't out there. It's inside the work you haven't started yet. Build your list. Do the work, just for 30 days. Your future is waiting for you to take action, so start today.